injury to the dog.
Yeah.
And then stress levels. I've only heard of this happening once, and it was actually with my mentor, where a dog had a heart attack. Okay, and it wasn't even an older dog. It was a younger dog. I believe like approximately 3 to 4. It was a Bernese, who was left with him for like a board and train, and the dog had severe separation anxiety. And overnight, they just came in. Dog was dead. Took him to the vet. Vet was like, "Oh, it was cardiac arrest, this and that."
Oh my God.
They believe it was due to stress. Okay, because the dog was like the dog had never been anywhere before, couldn't leave the house, like really bad stuff. This guy had to go to his dad's funeral, so it was kind of like, I have to leave this dog somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So it was a whole crazy thing. It ended up becoming a whole legal issue too, because the guy was like super suspicious of my mentor. Yeah. So I've not ever seen that happen. That's like the only time I've personally heard of a dog dying due to stress. But with the older dogs, I go, well, technically, I guess that would be a possibility. So I always bring that stuff up. We'll see how he does. Because we have the IVDD, we have touch sensitivity, we have possibility that those things are related, right? We have that he's 12 years old and he's not ever had formal discipline. Formal discipline being like being nipped and bit back. And all those things kind of compound, okay? So we'll see how he does. So what I have here are hawk gloves, okay? This is what we use for guys like him that are aggressive. Last time I used these were for a Frenchie named Snooky, who was very kennel aggressive, despite his goofy name. So let's say maybe also the last thing would be him overriding the collar, meaning either through stress levels or just through age. My theory is with older dogs is because like nerves kind of die off. You're not as sensitive. I've seen this a lot with older dogs, where they'll have like these super high numbers, like 80, and they're just taking it like nothing, right? And the owner's like looking, and I'm like, I see this a lot with older dogs. I was like, if this dog was like 2 or 3 years old, this dog would be yelping its butt off right now. Okay, so that's a factor. Now there is an answer to that, which would mean we just need a higher powered collar. So that's not the issue. But I've even seen dogs override a high powered collar. Okay, I don't expect it here, but it can happen. Okay, question on any of that stuff?
Nope.
Only other, I think Becca told you this probably like on the call, but he also doesn't have any teeth. So he will, like, the bites, as
like,
I'm sure you know,
hurt, but like,
they can be hard. And like when he's like there's a difference between like when he's like, oh, I'm coming at you, to like the other day he bit me like full on pressed down, and like it hurts, but like he doesn't have teeth, so it can't really hurt you.
I gotcha.
We call it a chip clip.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So, but it's the intent is there, right? He's trying to hurt, like he's trying to bite people. He's trying to do that, you know.
Yeah. I got you. So maybe I don't need 2 gloves.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do here. Just thinking how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'll do this. So I'll take remote here. 0. I'll take leash here. Okay. I'm gonna go up. So I want to get contact first. 15. Nothing. 20. Nothing. 25. Nothing. 30. There we go. So now we know we have contact. Okay, so we saw the little twitch there. So I'm going to kind of just pull him towards me. Now, is it with touching or lifting?
Lifting.
Lifting.
Yeah, touching. Touching.
Well,
he can
depends
be,
on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Someone could come over and he'll like sniff their hand, and then he'll inevitably always try to bite them.
Yeah.
But for us, we can touch him.
I see.
Yeah.
Lifting.
He's just unpredictable. Lifting for sure for anybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. When you lift him, how do you lift him? Just like.
I try to like lift his back and like support his back. Like the vet, they told us like if you lift him like kind of wholly, where like you're lifting his back legs and his front legs at the same time, that's good for his back. So that's what I try to do. But honestly, like it's just, can I get him up? And then it's about how I position him when I have him up.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you able? Have you ever tried to do like this, or is that not?
I don't know that I've ever like picked him up like this.
Yeah, I know
trying to
you're
go-
supposed to like.
Kind of like a football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever held him like that, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna experiment a little bit here.
Okay.
What?
So.
It's okay, Dewey.
What we're gonna do. I'm gonna switch this. There we go. Tap, tap. There it is.
Yeah.
Tap. I'll need left then. Yeah. Because technically, to correct the biting, it has to happen. and to a degree allowed to happen, and then him be corrected as he's doing it.
Yeah.
That's how he starts to tie it together, like, okay, like, I don't want to do this. So that's 30, we'll go to 35 here. Okay. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Tap, 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 tap. 35, we're gonna go to 40. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna go up, go to 45. Good news is he's doing well.
Good.
Tap. 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 I've never been gummed before.
Right? It's weird.
Tap. 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 I'm gonna go up. Go to 55 here, so 10 levels. Tap. 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 Good. Does he have any food drive or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tons. He loves food.
That'll make our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, no, yeah. He will. Yeah.
Have you tried using food when trying to do the pickups and stuff like that?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Like we, Graham groomed him recently, and I just fed him treats the entire time, and he was like fine.
He was okay. Yeah, that's like another issue. As you can see, he's like really shaggy because he like doesn't. The groomer basically just like wouldn't touch him.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I was kind of like, I don't know. But
Yeah, he's like, I can only muzzle him for 15 minutes at a time. I was like, then muzzle him for 15 minutes and do what you can. Like,
yeah. So then I was cutting him, which like, was more of just an effort of like trying to keep him as, his feet cleaned up and stuff like that.
Tap. Tap. I go away from my leg. Tap. Tap. There we go. Tap. So see how I'm kind of just doing little by little?
Yeah.
All right. So we can work with this.
okay.
I'll give him a break. So we're at a 55, which isn't too high. What I would do is I would pair this with food for sure.
Okay.
You get the best of both worlds. You get a correction for the behavior that we don't want, as well as the reward for behaving good. However, it wouldn't transfer to like a groomer or something. It's possible, but unless that groomer has like good handling skills, which is really what it comes down to. So for example, like we get dogs like way worse than this.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we get newer staff, we'll tell them, you don't touch these dogs until you're ready for it, right? So then by the time they're ready, one, the dog's already seen them a number of times, that they have some kind of trust with them. But then two, everybody's on the same page of how we work with the dogs. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I get dogs that the owner's like, no one's been able to pick up our dog from the house for daycare or whatever because the dog will attack them. And then I walk in and pick up the dog. And they're like, how did you do that? I'm like, it's because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then once I get that dog into a good place, then I show my staff how to pick up that dog. And then after that, we know everything's good. I go, cool.
Yeah.
You see, if I have a staff member that's not ready to pick up a dog like that, they go, I'm going to do the pick for that dog.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't transfer to the groomer because it's really person related. You're the ones that are doing the homework and all that stuff. It wouldn't most likely transfer to like a friend coming over and trying to pick them up.
Yeah.
All that stuff, it goes to be expected, but at least you two guys should be able to lift them without issue, okay? So we, as you saw, I was picking them up. If you want to use gloves, you're welcome to use gloves. I know he's got just gums, but like, if you, he did, I could feel him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants it. He wants it.
I was like, if this was my pinky, like I could see the how to say it, like it would be uncomfortable. And your natural instinct is always to
Exactly, yeah.
pull back, even with a dog with like no teeth. So having these gloves, it just takes it off your mind. So for him, when he goes to bite and you retract, right, just instinctually, he knows that.
It's like a win. Like he's like, okay,
Exactly.
it worked. What I was
Yeah.
trying to do worked.
Yes,
Whereas like
even
if
though
you let
continue
him,
to push, I know you're nervous with me.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of incentivizes him. So you saw me there just kind of in his business, and even the first time I handled him, my instinct was to pull back, right? So, but then once I settled in, I'm like, all right, cool, right? And I was just tapping, going up. I was not talking to him. I was not saying no or anything like that. Reason is we don't want to create a cued behavior, okay? What would be an example of a cued behavior that you know of?
like with, well, just like with Doug, like using things like break and like place and things
Correct.
like that. Yeah.
Correct. Place is a cued behavior. When I say this word, you go to this object.
Yeah.
When I say break, it means you're free to do as you please, right?
Yeah.
Same thing here, and this is one of the most biggest, mistakes in the kind of dog training is as humans, because we're so sound-based, right? Is we want to use words with behavior. So like if a dog is being reactive, instinctually we want to say no. A lot of trainers will teach their clients to say no. I teach my clients not to say a thing, because it becomes a cue where the dog goes, okay, I'm going to bark at that dog, and technically I can bark at that dog until you say no.
Yeah.
But as a human, you're thinking like, no, don't do that, but then also I don't want you to ever do it again. That's the human. You're seeing the long term. The dog just goes, okay, you caught me and you said no, I'll stop right now, but the next time I see a dog, you're going to have to tell me no again, because it doesn't apply to the future. So what I do is, we say nothing, we see the signs or the dog blows up, we correct it, no words, right? And the dog goes, every time I decide or act upon this behavior, this thing turns on. And the moment I choose to stop, that thing turns off. So then the dog starts to experiment. They go like, okay, well, what happens if I don't bark at that dog that I see, right? Nothing happens in the collar, nothing happens to the dog, and then the dog goes, oh, if I choose to do this, this thing's gonna turn on. If I don't want it to turn on, then I'm gonna choose not to do that thing. It makes sense?
Yeah.
So same thing here, when we go to pick up the dog, I'm not saying no, I'm just correcting him. And now he's starting to realize, like, okay, every time they pick me up, if I try to bite them, well, one, they're not gonna pull away. Two, I'm getting bit back, right? So then there was a couple of moments where I did pet him and you saw him just kind of tolerate it, right? So that's where I would do that, and let's say I stopped, that's where we would actually reward.
Okay.
Because that would be considered a success. So now he has two things to go by. He's like, okay, I chose to tolerate and accept this touch. Nothing happened on the collar, but then also I was rewarded for it. And then he'll experiment and he'll try to bite. He gets corrected and then not rewarded. He was like, okay, well, that's my bit. I was corrected, that sucked. And then also I didn't get the thing that I wanted.
Yeah.
That also sucks, right? Yeah. So it's a very simple thing. It's just something that you could repeat, ideally once a day, more if you can, twice, 3 to 5 minutes. I'll do more with him because I'm still trying to figure out what his number would end up being.
Yeah.
But he actually took to the collar really well. He wasn't, I was expecting like jumping around, a little bit of anxiety. He's actually kind of just let it go now. If you look at him, he's neutral. Like he's not like heavily panting. He's not salivating. He's not well-eyed. He's not like
Doug
this.
The first couple set, like, I remember that.
Completely different dog, right? So what Doug did in the first couple of sessions is what I anticipated to see with him.
Yeah.
Okay, and this just goes to show it's not really about the age, but more so the temperament, right? Whereas Doug, he was anxious due to the stress.
He's such an anxious dog,
And he's just like, nah.
Yeah.
That doesn't
He's
bother
like,
me.
I've been through worse.
Now, as we start to break the behavior, then we may see something.
Yeah, he might,
because now he's like, oh crap, now you're winning.
Okay.
And that's what creates the stress, but it's all part of the process.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm not seeing any excessive shaking. He also was perceiving it at a fairly low number at the 25-30. Me being a 55, I'm like, oh my God, like I've been higher than this. And it did look like he was having some breakthroughs. I'm just taking it little by little, as opposed to just assuming. Okay. Questions on any of that?
No.
So with this being the hardest, obedience would be simple.
Yeah, okay.
Leash walking stuff and the recall stuff would be very simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what these gloves would allow you to do also is like, I understand that, as people, we have our lives, we have work, we have personal lives and stuff like that. Things get busy. Maybe you're just tired. And it's like, I just need to pick them up. Like you're already kind of doing it.
Yeah.
You can continue with that. Again, if you'd like to have a little bit of a buffer, you can use it. Just pick them up and then whatever. He's going to get a few wins in that regard of him trying to bite, but again, not being able to retract or not having to worry about retracting doesn't reward him in any way.
Yeah.
And him having a win every now and then isn't a big deal when you're winning a majority of those conversations. Okay. So I'll take again. Thank you.
It's like, oh, no, thank you.
Would you prefer, I know with Doug, we first brought him in, we had a harness on, but you,
Switch to the collar.
yeah, because for him, we have the harness because of his back, but because he is a big puller on the leash, but would you prefer going forward just like a regular kind of collar?
Is there any concern with the collar and the IBDD?
Yeah, this is supposed to be specifically this halter for wiener dogs.
For like,
Okay.
Wiener dogs and dogs with IVD.
Because it has a farther back harness. You're not just like pulling their neck.
I see.
But I mean, I think the issue is that he's pulling, right? So if he walked with me like Doug walks with me, where he walks by my side,
Well, now
then
Doug
it would
does
be
that because of the training.
But like, you know what I mean? Then it wouldn't be an issue because I wouldn't pull. I would be pulling on anything. I wouldn't be doing. I don't.
But when I take him out, since he doesn't let me put that on him, which I guess if we have the gloves, I could do it. I just put a slip collar on him or slip leash.
Yeah.
But then he's like choking himself.
So what you could do is, like, technically speaking, once he's trained, he could wear whatever.
Yeah.
Right. The only issue is in the beginning is that harnesses promote pulling because it turns on that opposition reflex behavior. But because he's smaller, you can get away with it. Right?
Yeah.
So then once he figures this out, it'll probably just take a little bit longer for him to figure it out. But once he figures it out, then the pulling goes away.
Yeah.
Right? And at that point, you could walk him on the slip or you could walk him on a flat collar. Whatever,
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it's just kind of, how do you say? Play by ear.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've had smaller dogs like him. I had I've actually had 2 dachshunds recently that I trained, and they came in on the harness, and then we trained them on the flat collar just to make our lives easier. But then I told the owner, like, you could switch back to the harness if you wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna go up. So ended at 55. I'm gonna go to 65 here. So a quick little head turn.
Yeah.
I thought about it. Good. So like here, if I was using food.
Yeah, you give him a treat. Yeah.
Okay. So it's always the work first, and then once we go good, then the reward happens. Okay. So we're not. So the issue with using the food during is a distraction.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And he must be really food driven if it's overriding his discomfort of being touched.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like
Very food driven.
He's just so much into the food, like he's like not even kind of sensing what's happening over here. Right. So this is why we always do the work first, and then once the work is completed, then we would reward. Okay. Tap. 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 Good. It's frustration. Tap.
It's just also funny because he has no teeth, so he sounds like.
Yeah, I know, with the mouth, the tongue thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
My Chihuahua still has teeth, so his tongue still stays like. Oh, didn't have my butt ready. Tap, tap. Good.
So in the
Tap, tap.
would the treat come in when, like, say he bites you and then you're petting him after and he doesn't turn? Is that when the treat comes in?
Yeah, like right now I just corrected him, right? So I'm petting him again, and then I would stop, and then we could do a reward.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want to do. Let's see if he does it here. So like here I tap, right? But then I wouldn't reward there.
Right, okay.
Right. I would have to revisit. We go back to another touch.
Okay.
So this is like a separate instance. He holds. He holds, and then I can reward.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And now we're at 75. So what I'm looking for here is a number. So earlier, I'll give him a little break here so I can give my knees a break. The goal is always stop and deter, right? Like, it's not enough to just, in this moment, stop the behavior and then have to deal with it again in the future.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a number that he's going, hey, this is getting concerning. Every time I bite, it turns on. And I would rather that it not turn on, right? So this is why I started at the lower number. And then I established contact, which is like around 25, 30. And then 30, okay, 35, 40. Once I hit 55, I started going jumps of 10. So I did 55 to 65 to 75. But after that first little session, when I went to touch him initially, there was nothing. I'm like, okay, so he did retain something. Then I go to pick him up. That was fine. But then when I revisited the second time, in the second touch exercise, he started going for it again. So I'm like, all right, start tapping, bump it up, and then we started to see it was more direct, him stopping more quickly. A couple times where he was tolerating the touch. So I'm starting to get more, how'd you say, holding from him at these higher ranges, which is that's normal, makes sense. Okay, so it's just what number are we going to need where it's like, okay, I touch him, maybe he tries a thing or two, I correct him, I touch him for 3 to 5 minutes, right? Give him a break. Maybe later that day or the next day I go to touch him. Maybe it's one instance, right? But one instance is way better than the 50 that I've dealt with right now. Like that's what we're trying to get to. So then let's say that number is 95. And then you'll start to notice like, oh, ever since we started working him at 95, I've now done 3 touch exercises and he hasn't done a thing, right? And then you start to see these bigger and bigger gaps between him trying to bite. And that's how you know the setting that you're using is working. And that's almost always what people struggle with. They always keep the collars too low. And then they get stuck in what I would call like management mode, where they're stopping the behavior, but they're having to stop the behavior as opposed to, okay, I corrected my dog for reactivity, and now I'm going to see 20 dogs, and their dog's not going to do a thing because they don't want to be corrected at 100 or whatever that number is. Okay. Does that all make sense? Question on any of that?
Nope.
Do you want to give it a shot?
Sure.
So we're at 75 here.
Okay.
Glove or no glove?
I'm good without the glove for
right.
now.
You're a tough guy. I've been bit too many times.
Come here, Bubba.
I feel you should use the glove.
Let me make sure I'm like situated with like
sure. No judgment here.
But your left?
My left.
Would you like a pillow to kneel on?
Yeah, that would be great, honestly.
I was trying to find my bite sleeve because that's what I use.
No, that's perfect, totally fine.
There we go. Makes life a lot easier.
All right, Doob. How you doing, bud? Hey.
Should you turn him? Dewey.
There's a quick little head movement there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but he didn't do anything. Good. Does he have any allergies?
Nope.
No. Not that we're aware of, at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's eaten every single thing. I almost think it might be better if you try because like
Will he take kibble too?
Yep.
Yeah.
He will eat anything.
He'll eat anything.
Doobie. Ooh, oh, good boy.
All right. Okay. So
Yeah, I think I'm the better person to try. Oh, he's
Wow.
Which is normal because if he's going under stress, right?
Yeah.
What you can do is different tiers of food. Obviously, here in this case, kibble would be a no.
Yeah.
But like when I do positive reinforcement, I actually use like cheese, turkey, bologna, hot dog sausage, pepperoni. Summer sausage is great. If you go like to Jewel or whatever, it's like a big roll of sausage, and you can cut it up and it makes 1,000 pieces, right? Also changing things up, so like not always doing sausage, maybe one day doing cheese, things like that, because the dog will get tired of it.
Yeah.
But I use high value because, well, one, if I'm doing high level obedience, I want the dog to be paid well, kind of like with humans, right? You want if you're doing more work when we get paid better. Same thing here. Even though it's expected that he not bite and misbehave, we're doing the high reward because we're doing something he doesn't like, right? And for example, there are things that I don't like and no one can make me like because it's my decision.
Yeah.
You know, so like sushi many, many years ago, I thought was gross, even though I never tasted it. Then a buddy of mine was like, here, try the Godzilla roll. It's cooked, it's not raw fish, right? It was delicious. Now I eat nigiri, sashimi, like, you know, all the stuff, uni, I love it, right? But I'm the one that decided from I don't like it to I like it.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's no guarantee that we can make him like being picked up. It's still kind of him being tolerated, but we're gonna have a much better chance of him going, okay, well, I'll deal with it because you guys pay me well for it.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, because
Because he's like, if there's anyone he's gonna like because there's a lot of
him.
times where he just lets me pick him up, like he lets me cuddle him, like I think I'm
It's
definitely
me
his
who
favorite
he's
person. Where you, yeah. So
I'm Doug's favorite.
yeah,
So.
just make sure you have like you're gonna touch him with this hand and you're gonna buzz him with this hand, and then if he goes to touch you, you gotta buzz him.
Come here, buddy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. Nope, you gotta come here.
Pull him in. There you go.
Oh. I think right now he's just like a familiar person picking me up. Sure.
No, because he's making the movements, like he's
Yeah.
he's head twitching, he's like doing the things, but he's not coming back to get you.
Yeah. And I'll explain why all this is happening.
Okay.
Does he like his paws? Is he?
No, he doesn't like his paws.
It's just the lifting.
No,
Oh, no, he doesn't like when you
like
touch his paws.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do the paws. Do something different here. Okay. Excellent. Okay, we'll give him a break.
Okay.
So,
Good job, Dewey.
any guess as to why? Like with you, has it always been he'll try to bite you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh.
can you guess why now he's not attempting it?
Well, I would just assume it's because he's more comfortable with us than you, and so.
So now we have like a little bit of like a stress hierarchy, right? Or like,
Yeah.
like a tolerance hierarchy, where he's most tolerant of you,
Mm-hmm.
then technically it'd be her, and then me, I'd be at the very bottom because he don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So now he's being corrected. Now I'll never see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the worst person that could touch him is the one touching him. Plus, we're going up on the collar. We ended at 75.
Yeah.
Right. So then it makes you guys easier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
technically speaking, you already have trust.
Yeah.
He knows you, he's been with you for however long,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just that no one formally disciplined him. So now that he's got a taste of that, and then you come back to revisit it, he's like, well, okay, well, he just picked me up and I don't know him. And then when he did, I was corrected. So it kind of transfers over. He's like, well, I'm going to assume that's going to happen here. So it makes it more tolerable for you guys from him, from his standpoint.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I know you're ready. So I guess I'll just let it go here. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I do like my like real aggression stuff, like it look pretty bad, and I'll tell the client like because usually the goal is like the dog warming up to people.
Yeah.
And it is possible to a degree. I don't care about strangers, but I was like anybody that comes over regularly, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, family members, friends, right? That is actually very realistic for a dog who's antisocial.
Yeah.
To open up to them.
Yeah.
But it'll look really bad, so that's always a concern. And I go, right, I'm like, because no one's ever touched this dog. I'm a complete stranger to this dog. We're also in the stress of the e-collar, but I'm taking the blunt of everything. You know, so that dog like may hate my guts, but then like everybody else is fine. You know, because I'm the one that takes everything. But it gives the dog now a perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm able to like work through all the bad stuff, and then once we get the dog to a good place, I go, okay, now with the muzzle, you can begin socializing this dog with other people. Chance you might see a little spat here and there, but it's gonna be much more easier than like the stuff that they saw with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, because it gives the dog a reference point. The reference point being I was touched and then corrected, and then still was being touched, and then I get my way in the end. Okay, so it's like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Question on any of that?
No.
No.
Makes sense.
Cool. So aside from this, and for a groomer, what are you guys? Was this by Oz Park?
We're in Wicker
We're
Park.
Wicker, so
You're in
we
Wicker?
we go to.
We go to Kreiser's, but
The thing is, the guy's so good with Doug, and you know Doug like has issues with people, but he's really good with Doug, and he's been cutting Doug's nails, and I mean Doug doesn't need haircuts, but he's been cutting Doug's nails and like doing his anal dents and stuff for years now, and so we kind of thought, oh, he'd be good for Dewey, but I brought him over there. He was with him for like 5 minutes, not even, and he, you know, and he was basically like, look, man, I've worked with dogs with no teeth before. They can bite you hard, and
he was like,
you
it's
know.
giving me blood blisters before.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's.
I think it's fine. I mean, what I would love for him to be able to go get done would be his nails, but we can't do that.
I can again, like,
Because, like, we have the kid at
we have
home.
the tools to do it myself.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I'm just not that great at it, but like, if I can make sure
Yeah,
that
he
like
might look
his,
a little
he
funky,
might look a little
but-
funky, but like, if I can make sure that his like nails are good, and then like his feet aren't. Oh, there's not too much overhang over his feet. Like, and he's like his belly isn't getting dirty, and his butt isn't getting like dirty. Like, if he looks a little mangy, he's it's all right for us.
Okay, because I have a groomer. No, I don't not my groomer, but like a groomer that we used to use.
Yeah.
It's over here on Division and Pulaski-ish, called Canine Feline Cuts.
Okay.
That we've sent a couple of like more difficult dogs to be groomed. They've been able to groom a majority of them.
Okay. Well then, let's.
okay.
And I think he would be in their wheelhouse.
Okay.
But they're right here, and you can email me too if you forget. But it's Canine Feline Cuts, Master
Canine
Cuts.
Feline
It's
Cuts,
on, it's on Division, I believe.
Division
because it's like
Pulaski
5
or something,
10 minutes from here.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually good because I do think we need someone. Again, like we're just like Doug doesn't need haircuts, right? So I'm just like not used to having a dog that needs to have haircuts.
Yeah.
And he definitely needs them.
And he had no hair when we got him.
Yeah,
But
he had
then it
no
was
hair
like-
when we got him, so we didn't know what we were gonna like. He was gonna grow into, and now he just got all this hair everywhere.
Yeah. And the nails thing, like through regular walking, usually the walking helps
Yeah.
Yeah.
keep them trimmed. But is that just from like I guess maybe excessive pulling, not getting his walked as much, or his age?
His age. He
His
doesn't. Yeah,
IBDD,
he
he
doesn't
can't-
walk. He can't
Oh,
walk
okay.
like that much. Like he'll come out with a lot of energy. Like he really like every day when he wants to leave the house, he's got tons of energy. But then like after about 5 minutes outside, he's like, especially with the heat, he's like, I'm done, and he starts slowing down, and then.
We also just don't want to walk him that
Also
far
like our
because
vet
of his
has
IBDD.
said like he shouldn't be like going on like long walks. So usually like we'll go like do a walk, and then Dewey and I will come back, and her and Doug will go do a little longer walk because Doug needs more exercise. But
I gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Trying to think here, like, because you want to get the leash pulling addressed.
Yeah, leash pulling, and then like obviously like just reactivity with us, and then ideally with folks who are like.
Is it people coming over?
Yeah, but even think about people coming over. It's like.
He's just so hit or miss. I don't know his triggers because you just never know how he's going to react. Like sometimes he's fine, sometimes.
But he's not like Doug in the sense of where like you're gonna have to deal with Doug if you come into our house. You don't have to deal with Dewey at all if you come to our house. Like he might follow you, he might walk up behind you, he might bark at you, but he is not like he's not gonna jump up on your lap when you get on the couch. He'll go and sit in his bed and he'll
Like
leave
if you leave him alone, he's like.
He has no. Whereas like Doug is
I'll
like
leave you alone.
He's gotta check you out. He's gonna come sit on your lap. He's gonna bark at you. He wants to make sure like he wants to touch you, but he doesn't want. You know what I mean? He's gotta investigate you, and we've done the work for that. And talking to them and people like that. But.
Where Dewey goes after people is when he's like near them because he's just like, I'm checking you out. And then they put their hand down. He sniffs it for like 10 seconds and then inevitably always tries to bite them.
Like does that, like exactly like the behavior you saw there where he like goes that.
Okay.
So.
And that's in our apartment. Outside our apartment, we haven't experienced that very much. But the one time he was at my sister's house, he like let her pick him up fine. So it's just.
And again, like every vet has been able to pick him up. No issue. Like I've never seen a vet, like he's been to the vet like a bunch of times, obviously for his various issues and stuff. They just scoop him right up, like it's no issue. Every time I'm like, whoa, and they just like do it and it's fine. So it's weird. But yeah, again, he is very like, because of his age, his normal behavior is like, he's hungry. So he's always like, he's investigating food. He wants to be fed. But
He just sleeps.
he's got a bunch of beds around the house. He mostly just sleeps in them.
Yeah, my guys are 16, so I'm well aware. So we got leash walking. I'm going to assume that this would probably work out for you if you decide to take him there. But would you want to be able to trim his nails if you could?
Yeah.
Okay, because we can cover that too.
That would be useful.
Yeah.
And then I think a recall to the extent, I have some doubts about his hearing, but if we could do some recall work, that'd be great because he
Books it home.
He has run away from us a couple times.
But like he's booking it back to the
And
apartment.
he goes home, like he literally just runs home. It's weird, but he like when we go to the park with Doug's recall, especially when he has his collar on, is great. So like he can just go and do whatever. Dewey we usually will have on a long leash and let him kind of just like, but he's not interested really in roaming. He kind of will get tired and he'll lay
let go
down.
of Doug's leash, and he just sniffs around. He's not going anywhere.
Like, yeah, Doug will wander, forever away, and I'll, yell to him to come back, or I'll even buzz him, and then he'll know, like, oh, I could come back, and then he'll just come back. Where Dewey, like, he'll get tired, but
Well, Dewey, we dropped his leash the one time thinking like, oh, we're in the middle of a park.
What are you gonna do? Took off home.
Sprinted home.
Like just took off back to the house. Exactly. So like he and he won't like he's not he won't really come when called at all, unless just because I think he thinks like, oh, maybe I'm getting food. There's something to check out here, but he's not coming like, oh, I've heard my name. Let me come to the room.
I gotcha.
Absolutely none of that. Yeah.
So definitely do recall. And if he is losing his hearing and going deaf, e-collar is great.
Yeah.
Because he could be 50 feet away, you tap him, and he knows what it means.
Yeah.
You know, to return, despite the fact that he can't hear. My only thing would be, you know, him running back to you with the IVDD is.
Yeah.
I actually had another Frenchie that I was working with, who has the condition and it has flare-ups, but otherwise he's fine.
So he has the like.
He has chronic.
Chronic IVDD, which is different than like the.
Yeah, it's different. It's not a flare, but he just always has it, so he's just always on meds for it.
But
so it's just something he lives with. But when we can't pick him up, he does go up and down the steps or like.
Again, he's getting a milliliter of gabapentin twice a day, every day. And so, like, it's a lot of pain meds for his size. He's been dealing with this his whole life.
Without meds.
Yeah, without meds. So, you know, he's a pretty tough guy, and I don't worry too much about, like, what I worry more about is, like, we live by a busy street and, like, him getting hit by a car than I do about him, like, running back to me and, like, you know, hurting his back. Because, like, frankly, as much as we do and will work to protect him from himself, like, he's old. He's kind of a curmudgeon. Like he's gonna probably like, you know, the end of his life is gonna end up looking like something with his IVDD, and it will probably, you know, the vet when we first got him was like, you know, at some point his legs are gonna go and like he's gonna have to deal with that and like, you know.
No.
So.
It's crazy, like when you're like, well, he had it and then like wasn't on meds, because dogs' pain tolerance is like pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing to note while I'm thinking about it, gabapentin, because it's a painkiller, can impact e-collar levels.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go.
In this case, it didn't matter because he was responding even though I'm at 75. We still have 50 levels technically speaking.
Yeah.
He was still responding well, in my opinion. If needed, again, we could always go higher collar, a higher powered collar. It's perfectly safe to use. It just means a stronger contraction from a lower level.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Okay, this is meant for a dog that's like 25 pounds and under for smaller dogs. But if you were to put that like at a 50 and then got like a higher output collar and put it like at a 20, they would feel identical.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all it means. Okay. Otherwise, he responded well. So what I would most likely suggest is if you're wanting to do the leash walking with the recall and then the touch stuff, I think we probably get that done in 6 sessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 on heel. You can actually continue to do this exercise that we covered today, see if we're making any progress with it, and then we can work on recall issue. The nail trimming stuff also shouldn't be an issue. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. At least there's a couple. The people coming over type of thing. I would just. I know you could probably already tell them like, oh, just ignore them. Like, don't put your hand down. People still will do stuff like that.
It's crazy how people. I mean, even when we were like before we trained Doug, like people would come up to him and we'd be like, oh, can I pet your
Doug
dog?
at least
And
is
we'd be like,
barking at you.
We'd be like, don't pet our dog, and they'd be like, ah, and I'd be like, what did I just say?
But now you can, to
But
be
now,
fair.
he's so it honestly to this day still frightens me because like the amount of people who like pet him in public, and I'm like, ah.
Well, I take Doug out and he takes Dewey out, so like I know that Doug is totally fine now. And I'm like, oh, if you reach your hand out, like he might walk away because he's not interested in you, but he's not going to bite you.
Yeah.
And Graham's like, wait.
I'm always
and
like,
I'm like, he's fine. He's literally fine. He's never going to try and bite anyone. Like he's super chill.
Yeah.
But
what you could do if it makes you feel better is they do have like things that you could put on the lease that say like not friendly, don't touch.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
think that for like.
You get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
I have a few clients, and you'd be surprised, or even with those things
People will
on,
still, like, touch
but they
them.
know like it is a lot better.
And I think like especially like we had an incident the other day at the park where like
kids.
I don't know if this is a training issue, but one thing that is very clear is they hype each other up. Like and especially Doug to him. Like Doug, he's not really a barker, he's not super vocal. But when Doug starts barking, he's like, we gotta bark at something, so like now I'm gonna bark. Right? And so I don't know if there's anything we could do to like any kind of training we could do with them together or something like that. But yeah, just like something to make sure that like they can stay calm together and like.
Can you give me an example?
Like
if someone
comes over and it's just Dewey and I have Doug for some reason, Dewey like might not even acknowledge
acknowledge that. He might not even get
out of
up.
his bed.
He might not even get out of his bed, right?
But if Doug Doug will bark
Doug will
when
always
someone
run
comes
up
in.
and bark like once or twice.
So then Dewey will get up and be like,
Yeah,
oh, I
and then
must
Dewey's
be
like,
on alert.
I gotta go on alert, right? Or I think another one is like just even like the noises. Like when we're home alone, Doug sometimes will hear like someone open the front door and he'll like let out a little bark, and then I'll be like, Doug, and then Dewey will start barking because he's like, we gotta bark at something, right? And I'm like, or in the
Sometimes
park.
he's not even looking at what Doug's looking at. He's just like, Doug starts barking. He's like, bark.
Well,
He's like, what are we barking
The
at?
instance I was thinking of is we were in the park the other day. Doug had his collar on, but was roaming off leash. Dewey had the long, like 50-foot leash on. And we were on the sitting on a blanket. They were off, and some little kids came up to pet them. And one, I would have loved to like, I was too far away to be like, hey, don't touch the dogs. The kids didn't do a good job of being like, are these dogs friendly? I don't know. And Doug, I buzzed him, so he was fine. He was
No,
kind
but
of
he did immediately, like, the kids went up to Dewey, and I was like, wait, don't do that. And then Doug took off after the kids. But he buzzed him before he did anything,
like
so he
Doug
stopped.
was fine, so he stopped. But then Dewey was like, oh shit, like we're chasing these kids. And he just started chasing the kids. And the kids like, in like actually the funniest turn of events, like we got the dogs together, it was fine. The kids obviously were a little scared and whatever. They walked, I didn't even see their parents. This woman calls them over, and I think, oh, she's gonna comfort these kids. She starts yelling at them, and she starts saying, like, you can't just go up to random dogs in the park. You need to be safe with who you go. Like, you don't know these dogs. Like, you need to. And I'm like, oh, damn. Like, shout out to that lady. Like,
Yeah,
teaching these kids a lesson. But yeah, it's like that kind of stuff worries me a bit because they just, you know.
Yeah. No, I understand. So that, yes, part of it is just the recall training, which will fix a lot. Doing them together, one thing I was going to mention earlier is that if, let's say, we only use 4 classes for Dewey, right? That if Doug had stuff also that needed to be worked on. The other option would be, so your options would be technically, so we have 6 is what I'm assessing for him. If there's more stuff that you have, like, oh, if we're going to do this, might as well do a little bit with Doug. You could do 9, and it gives you more to work with, or you could do 6. We prioritize him. If we have a class left over or something, you can extend it. I think it's $100 to extend by half an hour. To plan for, we're gonna work with Dewey and Doug.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you have options there, because I'm just kind of tweaking things for Doug. He doesn't need a full program. So it's up to you whether or not you'd want to just have a couple of extra classes to work on things like that, and or extend a couple of classes to try and work on work with both dogs at once. Okay. Last thing would be, once we figure out that this is going to work for him, is you can get what I call like a family system, which is one remote controls both dogs.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
So we can technically expand the system. And what I mean by that is I have to do this custom. I purchase a remote from the dealer that is a 2-dog system, okay? And then a second collar. So it's not a whole new system, it's just a la carte, right? Just buying the pieces. And then they can set it up at the manufacturer so that dog 1 would sync up to Doug or Dewey, and then dog 2 would be the other collar, right?
Okay.
Now, so then you'd be one remote that controls both dogs, and then one remote that only controls Doug's. Okay. A true family system would be 2 2-dog remotes that control both dogs. Okay. I think you guys would probably be fine with the 1 2-dog remote with the 1 collar, because if one's got 1 dog, the other's got. I think it'd be perfect fine. The only issue is like if one person replaces the 2-dog remote, and then you're stuck with only
the one.
That's just the con to it. So just heads up on that. Okay. But I can make it set up where you could have technically 3 remotes: 1 remote that controls 1 dog, 2 remotes that control both dogs, and then just the 2 collars. Okay. It's all personal preference, and you don't have to commit up front. You could do, we want the 1 and 1, and then let's say in a couple of months you're like, you know what, we've misplaced the second dog remote too many times. Let's get us another one, because then I call the manufacturer and I have them duplicate the 2-dog remote, and then they send it out to me.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
But I would test this out first, maybe a class or 2, make sure that this is going to work, because then if it doesn't and we jump the gun and buy the system, and then it's like, oh crap, like now we're just stuck with the system, and now he needs like a stronger one or something. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I have one in stock already. I'll talk to him. I'll probably order some just to have, because they discontinued this model.
Oh, really?
Yes, but there's still some like leftover stock that I know of, so I'll probably just buy them just to have, because I'll sell them sooner or later.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, not for me.
Cool. So mull it over, whether or not you want to do the 6 and then see how he does, and then maybe just extend a couple of them.
For sure.
Or if you want to just do the 9 and know that you have some extra to work with,
Extra to work with
they won't
dog.
go to waste. We'll make
For
sure
sure.
to cover some stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks. He
Great
did a
job,
lot
guys.
better than
Thank you so much.
expected.
Yeah, no, I'm very
They can
promising.
go
Yeah.
one way or you know,
Yeah.
you know the
Yeah,
other way.
thank you. Yeah, we literally both were like, this isn't gonna go well, and then.
It's just because like I feel like every experience we have with Dewey, it's like, oh, like.